Let's go.
We have seen Veve prices on a steady decline for about 5 to 6 months now, and if you have purchased anything within that time frame, chances are your investment is in the negative. This was to be somewhat expected, as prices before that were just flying off the charts, basically every collectible hitting an all-time high. But not only that, we are in the middle of a global macroeconomic downturn. Stocks, crypto, NFTs, you name it, the market is probably down right now. It's just all bad across the board. But with that being said, there are opportunities to be had when prices are low, when we're in bear markets, when we're in recessions, whatever it might be. And so if you're looking to invest in Veve or OMI or just get your feet wet in this kind of space, you're probably wondering where the best place to put your money is. Although I believe in a ton of Veve collectibles to do well in the long term, especially your blue chips, your first appearances, first editions, etc. You guys know what I look for in these collectibles. In this moment in time, I believe that OMI is the better play in terms of return on your investment. What's going on, guys? My name is NFT Flenny, and let's get into why I think that OMI is currently the better play over collectibles or comics on Veve. And of course, this is not financial advice and will never be financial advice. First and foremost, I see investing in the OMI token as investing in the Veve app as well as the Veve team, meaning that the more successful Veve is, the more likely OMI is to also be successful. Because if you don't know, the Veve app is powered by OMI in the background. That explanation is probably better for a different video, but all that you have to know for this context is that OMI runs the Veve app. It is integrated together and every transaction is pinned by the OMI token. On the flip side, if you're investing in collectibles or comics, you're betting on that specific collectible or comic to do well. And then on top of that, mint numbers play a factor. So there's a lot more variables and it's a less diversified investment. Don't get me wrong, there are still a ton of opportunities out there for collectibles and comics, and especially with prices going down, I think that they are good long-term investments. But with that, they are a lot harder to come by and there's a much greater chance of missing. And even if it seems like a bona fide blue chip safe investment, there are things that could get mixed in that kind of screw that up. And here's an example. For the first ever golden moment drop, it was Disney's first ever collection. The Veve team, I believe it was Alex, could have been Reese, I'm not sure exactly. Someone on the Veve team said that these would be the only golden moments ever dropped. So when you hear that, you think, oh shoot, this will be incredibly exclusive. This will be a one-time thing. Not only is it Disney's first ever drop, it'll be the only Disney golden moment drop. So you pile on all the historical aspects on that, and it seems like a bona fide blue chip set to have, right? But, you know, a few months later, whatever it was, turns out Disney changed their mind and they started putting out more golden moments. And now we're going to see a golden moment for, I think it's all 50 Disney characters or however that works. I think there's golden statues like in the theme parks. So we'll probably just get NFT versions of those. But with that being said, for a few months, we had this idea in our heads that these are the only golden moments that will ever exist. And then boom, one day we get a tweet, oh, the second set of golden moments are dropping. So the reason I'm saying this is because even if things seem like they're a lock, any kind of change from the licensor or any kind of change in plans just in general could really throw off what once seemed like an extremely valuable piece and could make it not so valuable, for lack of better vocabulary there. For a comparable scenario to happen to OMI, basically an entire new project would have to come in and outdo Veve and their whole project in the digital collectible distributing space, which I think is extremely unlikely to happen, at least for the foreseeable future. So thinking about it that way, what I'm trying to say is that it's a lot less likely for the OMI token to lose its inherent value as opposed to certain collectibles on Veve. But here's the thing, guys, here's the kicker. OMI is not only used on Veve. So say down the line Veve does fail for whatever reason, OMI is already branching out into other projects, and I recently covered a video on the Ecomi monthly update for the month of April. They announced a partnership with a mobile app game called Ecomi, where the OMI token is integrated into the app and you can use it to buy, I forgot what it was, like heroes and gear and special rewards. So OMI is branching out into other apps and there are more projects that will use the OMI token. So even if Veve does fail, say, then OMI will be supported by multiple other apps and ecosystems. So I think that OMI just has a lot less chance of failing or completely losing its value. And just in case you guys need a bit more convincing, the Ecomi Twitter account recently put out a tweet that got me extremely excited, and I'll go over here and show you guys. So the Todd father put out a tweet saying, turbulent market conditions really shake out the weak team/projects. Although we're going through a rough patch, I still have 100% conviction in the Ecomi and Veve team, and it's not a question of if things will recover, but when. This makes it easier to keep stacking. And before I get into Ecomi's response, I just want to say that I 100% agree with the Todd Father's tweet in full. But so then Ecomi responds, and they said that we started building in a bear market and made it through with minimal funding. Things are very different this time around. We good, fam. Not that my confidence in the project was ever swayed, but this just greatly reassured me. And I love seeing their confidence throughout this tough time when cryptos are just getting demolished right now. And as I mentioned, they are in a much better space than when they started. Tons more publicity, tons more funding. They have tons of revenue coming in, much more leverage. So they can continue to just keep building, keep improving, and they're going to survive any bear market. And why I love investing in Veve Collectibles in general, I know I just said that the OMI token is a better investment, but I still believe that. But why I like investing in Veve Collectibles in general is because the IP will survive bear markets as well. You know, certain random projects that are hyped for the moment, if they go to zero, there is nothing inherently backing them. But these historical collectibles will have value for as long as the IP has value, which for, you know, things like Marvel, Disney, basically every single CEO would need to commit all kinds of egregious crimes for these brands to go under. And even then, they probably wouldn't. They're so ingrained in our culture, in our society, and in our minds that they will be here for as long as we are here. So that makes it easier for me to invest in these long term. And as I just said, makes it so much easier for this project to survive, outlast a bear market. I'm not claiming to be any kind of investment or crypto expert, but, you know, I've been around for about 5 years now in the space, and I've been around in Veve for over a year. And these are just some factors, some trends that I've seen. And, you know, using the reasons that I gave in the video, I think that's why Ecomi is currently the better play from an investment standpoint. But I could, of course, always be wrong. But then again, I could be right too, right? So I'll wrap it up here, guys. Like the video if you liked it. Dislike if you disliked. Comment if you got something to say. Subscribe if you're enjoying the content. My name is NFT Flenny, and I'll catch you guys next time.